there's a quiz that I'm not going to have you guys take, but I just want you to know it's there in case you have questions or hold on. I'm recording just in case somebody can't be here and they wanna see the video later. But this quiz is designed, if you're not sure what template to use or how you want your course to look in the fall, you can take this really short little quiz here. Like, for example, I know that I was talking to Chris Hester earlier, and she has done the weekly modules because she's interacting with students a lot more in music than she would if they're in person. So she actually clicked, I want to start all over. And so for her, she knows instead of organizing by weeks, she's going to organize by units. And then it takes you right to the link of the template you should download. So in case, I did a little like fun like navigation thing. So if you want to use, most people probably want to reuse most of your content with some minor adjustments. So if you do that, you could organize by units, you could organize by weeks. And now we have two different weekly templates. One has those dates. I know there's many people who really like having the exact dates on the calendar so their students know exactly where to go. Some people want to create a course and they want to reuse it semester after semester. So for example, I teach a semester-long course that repeats every semester. I might just want to have it week 1, week 2, week 3. So then I can go here and now I have a fall template that has week 1, week 2, week 3, but it's not date specific. So then I can keep reusing that too. So we gave you some more options, and I'm going to show you where to find those in Commons in a second. But again, if in July, at the end of July, you're like, oh, I better think about this. I haven't thought about it in a while. Here's a quick quiz that you can take, and it'll take you directly to those links. So really short, not something you have to do, but it's just a resource that's right there for you. Because speaking of July, our fall tiles won't be available till they do that skyward shift. So at the end of July, beginning of August is typically July 20th, something like that is when they make that switch over from the current school year to next school year. And again, you'll get that notification. I'll probably send you guys an email saying, just in case you want to think about it, you can import all of your course content. So our goal is to create sandboxes that has everything ready that we want ready for the beginning of the fall, that then we will literally just in a couple of quick clicks will import into our real courses when they become available. So in the meantime, we're going to make that sandbox. And the great thing about a sandbox is if you think you want it one way and then you change your mind and you want it a different way, you can delete that sandbox and start all over again. So everything you do in that sandbox, you can't make a mistake. And if you do, we'll just clear it out and start over again. So again, the big things, and I'm going to take you to Canvas. We're going to actually build our sandbox in just a second here. These are the tiles that you're going to see when you type in D155 Fall 2021. So you've got the standard one that I know many people have used with the dates. You've got the full template, which will have the modules that will be labeled by dates. You've got a generic unit template. You've got the weekly modules, which don't have dates. And then you've got the module view. So you've got all these different options. Many people, especially if you're someone that was saying, I want to reuse almost everything, but then I want to make just some, I like having the homepage with the dates on it. Now you can download just the page and then bring in all of your amazing content that you've built. So lots of words. Let's go to, if you guys could open up Canvas with me. Zoom out here. All right, so over here on the right-hand side, you're going to click Start a New Course. This is you building out that sandbox. So you might want to title it, Spanish 4 Fall 2021 or PE Fall 2021. So whatever course, pick a course that you're teaching next fall. I'm just going to call mine Sandbox. And then you'll get to this page. So we're starting fresh. We're creating a new sandbox for one of your courses for the fall.
So you start just in Canvas? I mean,
So you want to be on your dashboard.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. There you go. And then it's on the right-hand side.
Got it.
All right. And then once you do that, you can see over here on the right-hand side, you can import things from comments. You can also import existing content. The great thing about Canvas is you will have access to all of your courses from previous years. So as we, get a couple years under our belts, you'll be able to go back to, fall 2020 and, in 2023. So you'll be able to access all of your resources. Nothing is lost. It'll just get archived. But first things first is I'm going to go to import from comments. And once I'm in comments, that's when I'm going to type in the D155 fall 2021. And again, that's where my options are going to come up. Now, again, if you really like having the modules, having the labeled dates, then I would import a full module. If you're someone that just wants the homepage and then you're going to relink, you want to keep, like, let's say your weekly or your unit homepages, you want to keep them exactly the same. If you want to keep everything exactly the same but want to have an updated homepage, you're going to download just the homepage. If you're someone that wants to keep most things, but you're going to reorganize or reshuffle because guess what? Next year's going to be a little more normal than this year, then you probably want one of the full templates.
So for my situation, because I always take your awesome templates and I make it my own because I redo all the buttons and everything. So then I want my own stuff. Would you suggest a page that I'm running, or what would I?
So do you want to reuse your home pages, like the weekly home pages from this year?
Yeah, because then I'll just edit the dates and
Yes.
we did them all.
Yeah, so then you just want a home page.
Okay.
And I would do, it doesn't matter which one you do because you're going to tweak it.
But the only thing is, like, if I want to make it, fix it, and put in the comments for other people for Spanish, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So then should I just go to the module and redo it? Would that be easier?
probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Instead of just copying over, I should just redo it, because I don't want them to see all the rest
all the
of
old,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, so never mind, so I should just do the full.
Yes,
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So when we find the one we want, we just click on it?
yes. So when you find the one that you want, I'm going to, for today, I'm going to just do the page. So I'll show you how to link that. You click on it and then you select import and download. And you guys won't have as many crazy things as I do, but then you're going to pick we've got a lot of examples. You'll pick the one that you want to import into and click import into Canvas. And then you'll see that it was successful. So again, from the home page here, once you pick,
Right. Don't know which one to select.
which one did you just create?
I don't know. I think I named it training, Rouse Training Sandbox, I think.
Carrie, because I'm gonna do one and tweak it, like
I would
this
do
year,
the second one
and
because
I'm
that's
gonna put
probably
all
the
the
new
new
one.
dates in, so for Spanish, so if you guys wanna use that one
Oh,
too.
thank
I'll put it in the comments,
do that.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tweak it first.
So
Thank
then
you.
hit that blue import into course. Awesome. All right. Does anyone have any other questions? Or if they're maybe not sure which one you want to do,
Steph, if I pick the wrong one, how do I go back?
then good question. Okay, so I'm gonna show that right here. So at any point you can reset your sandbox. So you're gonna go back. So you'll go to dashboard,
Yeah.
and then in dashboard you'll find that sandbox you just created.
Yeah, sure.
Click on it.
Yep.
All right, in settings,
Okay.
you can reset course content. That's gonna wipe it out clean.
All right.
So that's the really awesome.
Reset core content. Yeah.
The awesome thing about that is that then you guys, don't feel stressed. You can't go wrong because you can always reset it. So now has everybody imported a template of some sort or a page?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Oh, hi, Shirley. We are, once you do that, you guys are going to go back to your desktop. So go to your desktop and go back to that sandbox that you just imported your template into. And it's probably going to look like this. Unless you did the whole template, then it'll look a little different. I just did a page. So if you just did a page, I'm going to click on page. And And then now I want to set my front page. So I'm going to go to view all pages. I went too fast. I'm sorry.
I just didn't have a view all page.
Oh, up at the top. Oh, if it's the only button, then you're good.
Okay.
Then you're good.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
No. Stop me at any point.
So do I need to go back to my canvas?
Yes. So go to desktop
So just go back to my dashboard?
or your desk. Yes. So if this is the view you see,
Probably
Yeah,
right here.
I changed the whole thing, so.
All right, so I got that same view. Okay.
perfect. So if this is the view you see, I'm going to go to choose homepage. And then I'm going to select pages front page. Some of you have this front page already because you imported a whole template, which is great. So
It won't let me click on pages front page. It's on course modules.
hit cancel. Let's go to pages. We have to, I think we imported into the wrong one then. So friends, let's go back to, can you click on import from Commons?
Up here.
Yeah. Okay. Click import and download and now do the other one.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Then you should be good. Awesome. So once you have your template in, now we're going to go up to, so we want to be on our dashboard here. You're going to import existing content. That's all the way at the top on the right. So again,
Sorry, huh?
no.
I did the import download.
So now you're going to go back to dashboard on the left-hand side,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and then it should be there now.
And then go down right here,
Yes.
and now go over to
Choose homepage.
choose one page.
There it is, pages front page, and then hit that blue button. There you go. All right, so you're gonna import existing content. If you're someone who just did just the home page, so you didn't import modules, you're probably gonna import everything from a previous course. Most people, and what I'm really recommending is that you think about what you import and actually don't just select all. I would make some choices. Now, the great thing about importing is that you can do it as often as you want to. So if there's some things you're not sure you want and you want to hold off on importing, it's totally okay to do that. Or if, let's say I'm collaborating with Neff over the summer and he has this really awesome assignment and we make a sandbox together, I could choose to just import one assignment. That's a little tedious, but you can, again, there's no pressure to import everything if you feel like there's too much to import. So let me show you kind of what I like to import. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy a Canvas course. From here, you're going to be able to search your courses, and you guys you'll see that you've got a list here, and it lists it by semester. So if you click on that, you should be able to see fall 2020. You should be able to see previous years if you've used Canvas for a little while. I have a different view because I kind of see a lot of things. So here we go. So for me, I typed in my course number. If you know your course number, you can also type in that. And so now you can see I've got my course. Instead of selecting all content, I'm going to pick and choose what I select, and then I'm going to have to relink and tweak it just a little bit. And again, there's no pressure. You can't go wrong. And if you go wrong, we're just going to reset course content like we did a minute ago. So I'm going to select specific content and press import.
But I can import all content.
You
if I
can-
want.
You can definitely import it all.
Okay.
Bring it all in. Okay, if I'm selecting specific content, here's some recommendations. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger.
How did you-
Okay.
Oh, you already went to the red, sorry.
Yeah, select that content. No problem. Please stop at any point. Okay, so Ralph, you're gonna wanna go to import course content on the far right, up a little bit. There you go. Up.
Existing content.
Existing content.
What's that content type?
And then go to that drop down and choose course, copy a Canvas course.
Yeah.
And then pick a course. There you go.
has nothing to do with dates, like August 1st of this year into August, it's nothing like that.
No.
Like just stuff,
Yes,
not the calendar.
right.
Like assignments,
Got
or
it.
places.
Got it, okay.
And remember, kids won't see anything that isn't published.
Right.
So if you bring in a ton of stuff here, and like
Oh,
Neff,
right,
Neff
right.
brought it all in, they won't see it if it's not published. If it's published, they'll see it. So the only reason why I like to pick and choose is because there's a couple of things I don't want. So I'm going to select course settings because that's going to be my navigation features. We're going to briefly talk about navigation and just a couple of recommendations in a little bit, but I want to keep that the same. For me, I'm doing a page, so I'm going to bring in modules. So I brought with just a home page. I don't have those modules pre-built. If you selected a full course, I would consider not bringing in modules because you're going to rebuild and reorganize because then you'll have double week ones, double week twos. So that's kind of why I don't bring in everything if I'm doing a template already created. I'm definitely going to want all my assignments. I've already cleaned, and that's something you want to think about too, is deleting assignments you know you're never going to use again. You can always delete those to clean them out. And then I want my quizzes, I want my question banks, discussion topics, pages. This is something to consider. So if you click the arrow and make it go down instead of right, here I can see all the pages that I've created. Now, if I'm reusing pages from last year, I'm going to want to bring them in. But for me personally, I'm going to rebuild my homepage because I like having all the dates, and the last year's homepages have last year's dates. I'm still going to look at last year's homepage. I'm going to look at last year a lot because it gives me that structure. But I know for me, I want to recreate my homepages. So I'm going to choose my readings, everything with my little book there. I like to use those emojis to kind of like designate things. But I'm going to leave week 7. I don't want it. Week 8, I don't want it.
Because the
So,
homepage, you're gonna change the date.
Yes.
I got it.
so those are different options and different things to consider. And again, you can always import later, or you can just go ahead and say, I want everything, and then delete things you don't need. So it's all just a matter of how you want to play.
That week stuff you made.
Yes.
So it's like, I want the stuff I made, but the stuff you made, I don't
So
want.
you don't wanna.
Yeah.
do that,
So like all those home pages that were from before, I
Mhm.
don't want that in there because I want to keep the new ones. It's just the ones that I probably made on my own.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So you don't want to click those no pages.
I don't.
Is that right?
If you brought in a fresh template, you don't want the old home pages. If you just brought in a page, you're going to want the old home pages. So it just depends. You don't want double. So
Got it.
So are you clicking module?
I clicked, I'm clicking my first one, hit the, or no, I'm on, yeah, we're gonna hit the arrow down.
all right, yeah.
The modules did not.
Come through.
All of that's gonna.
Give it a minute, because especially if it's a whole course, it might take a while.
No, I mean the, like the module template.
Oh.
It's easier on one
On
line.
this new
I think I
thing.
have right runner right.
And I think you're gonna.
The other one,
So let's double check.
just what's this homepage?
Oh, you imported, that's the unit template. So I would go to settings and clear that out and then re-pull it in. It's pretty, but that's the unit one. So
Steph, would Ralph want these?
Let's see.
Looks like his are all just.
I know, that's what I'm saying, that's like, they try again.
Ralph, you brought in a whole template, right?
I don't know.
For practice sake, why don't you just bring it in? And we can go through this, yeah,
Select content?
correct. And then Ralph, we too, feel free, we can always go through this
Okay.
at any time too. So,
The general idea.
So do I want to complete it or?
Personal.
yes. Oh, wait, give it a minute. It's gonna come over. So it's just,
I can
yeah.
help you anytime.
So,
Yeah, she's already in the left lane, like, I'm just gonna add on fewer books, right? Left lane. Not the cruising right laners over here.
so the other thing I don't like to import friends, is I don't like importing announcements. It's easy to delete them, but again, another reason why you might not want to bring everything over is, announcements. It's just a extra thing that you don't need. So things to think about. Again, you can always delete, you can always import, you can't go wrong. And if you do, we can just clear it out. So one thing to note, and this is where I think people went wrong in the fall and in the spring, is that it takes a good few minutes for everything to pull over. And so people, I noticed, thought that nothing transferred or the template didn't come through, so they did it again. And then people had 2 and 3 versions of the template in there. Be patient. You got to be patient. This process takes a little while.
One quick question, Steph. So when I pulled over like assignments, for example, I obviously don't want them published. Is there a fast way to still publish them, or do I have to unpublish each one?
So I will hold that thought.
Okay.
I'm going to get there and talk about assignments in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an awesome question. I'm just, no, you're left lane. I love it. All right. So we see that that's running. I'm going to break my own rule here, guys. I know I just said, wait, be patient. I'm not going to be patient. So once I know everything has pulled over, now I'm going to relink things, and I'm going to do that by going back to my homepage and hitting that edit pencil. So what's nice so I made a semester weekly template with no dates. So if you're someone that, doesn't really mind not having dates and wants to really reuse something again and again, the no date option is going to be good for you. If you're someone who likes dates, then you're going to want the date option. But anyways, here, I'm going to click on this icon. It's linked to something that is not in my course. So I'm going to actually go and remove the link. And so again, I just brought in a page and I'm linking to all of last year's content. So as a result, I'm going to delete the link and I'm going to go up to the link button. Now I'm going to select course links. Course links is great. It's a little trickier to find, but once you find it, it's the shortcut to everything in your Canvas course. So I'm going to relink my buttons here. And again, it's because I'm using last year's content with a brand new homepage. So now I'm going to click on pages and I'm going to scroll through and I'm going to find week 1. Then I'm going to go to week 2, click on week 2 here, click on week 2, go to week 3, click on week 3. It's going to take me about 10 minutes or so to go through that whole process. But once I do and press save, it'll all be linked. And now it's going to have because I'm using last year's content, it's going to have last year's content, but I can delete this. I can add my own banner. I can add my own dates. And if you go to a weekly version, then I can, once I delete that, let's see who popped in. All right, so once I delete that, then I can customize it and adapt it as needed, and it'll be good to go. Lana asked a really great question. So she said, hey, everything came over published. How do I fix that? Well, if you want to mass change your dates, you're going to go to assignments right here. And this page is relatively new this semester. It wasn't available at the beginning of the year. Remember, every time you make a new Canvas course, you got to delete. It makes like a default assignments category. So you're going to delete that. Hi, Tammy. Tammy joined us on Zoom. So, but I'm going to go over here to these 3 dots. In the 3 dots, I'm going to edit assignment dates. Now, I can manually go through and unpublish everything, or I can simply select all and change when it's available from. So I can add, if it lets me here, just do 1. I can go through and say it won't be available until August 16th. And then I can apply that to all of these. The other thing that I really like about this is mass changing dates. I know if any of you were trying to change, I'd have to go through, I'd have to delete some things, but it's going to take me a little bit of time, but it's all in one screen. So it's not smooth, but it's just a way for you to make sure that nothing is available to your students until you're ready.
Otherwise, you could just unpublish.
Yes, otherwise you could just go to assignments and do the
Yeah.
click, click, click. It's a little therapeutic.
I was gonna say, that
Is-
it seems a little bit easier than the other one.
So right laners it does.
Steph, when you go to import content, if you're gonna bring a whole course in, can you do that? Is that the same thing as that?
Yes.
And it does it ahead of time for you?
Yes. So, the only problem with that is we have different days off and things like that. But generally speaking, it's really nice because it gives you the estimate and then you can always tweak as needed.
I'm just saying, if you want to go into it's not available,
Yes.
you could put it at December 1st or 15th, then all of them would change this.
Exactly. Good. Other questions?
What? I'll figure it out later.
What's going on,
I don't
Susie
know,
Q?
because I only did it one time, I thought, because I've just been following along, I just noticed I've got 2 formatives in here.
Oh,
2
yeah.
summatives.
okay. So Sue has an issue that I think some other people will run into.
And I feel like I've done this before. I've got magic when it comes to this,
Okay, so it's going to be an easy fix.
Okay.
So if you see that you've got 2 formative categories and 2
Yeah.
summative categories, if I want to delete one of them, I'm going to delete the entire column. That seems super scary because then I don't want to delete anything. This screen too is going to pop up and it's going to ask you if you want to move assignments to the other formative group. So again, I want to delete this formative category because I've got 2 formatives. I'm going to hit those 3 dots. I'm going to press delete and I'm going to move the assignment to that formative
Is
category.
that because we didn't go in and set up our markings yet?
So in one of your courses, you have brought in the formative and
Right.
summative assessments, but then in the template, it also had those same
That's
categories.
probably- Okay, that
So
makes sense.
it double brought it in.
That's why, okay.
So,
That was not all my fault this time.
yeah, so, and again, it looks scary, but it's a super easy fix and it'll move everything up for you.
Thanks, hon.
Yeah, good question.
So should I delete this, I have an extra summative, an extra final?
Yes, delete one.
Because the other one should have your percentages already.
Mhm.
And then there was summative stuff too.
Good. All really great questions. There's a couple of really,
Yeah.
oh, I just don't want to move too
I
fast.
got my 2 courses published.
Yes,
Woo!
That was enough for me for today.
yay.
And I'm good.
And I'm good for today. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna throw a couple things out there that the district wants me to just let you guys know about. We've already talked a lot about it, and that's what that handout is. It's some recommendations or things to think about when you're customizing your course, not requirements. But that template organization, either having it by unit or by week is really helpful, and keeping that, whatever works for your department or your course is great. So organizing and keeping everything in modules is really helpful too. Remember, we've got all these templates set for you, and if you imported the full template, they're going to have some of those navigation features already built in for you, which are, again, then you don't have to worry about setting your grade weights or setting certain things. So those are there for you. All assignments, we encourage you guys to link them in modules. We're going to encourage you guys to keep modules on for next year, just as another way for students to see how you've organized things, whether it's by unit or modules. But again, you can turn on and off the features that are necessary for you. For some of that content and planning, just remember announcements are really great ways to get information to students quickly. We may or may not have parent view on Canvas next year. So just something that I know the district wanted us to share with you guys is if you post anything in announcements, don't put students' full names, particularly when students have to come to asynchronous Wednesdays. There were some complaints district-wide about Bobby Smith has to come to asynchronous Wednesday, and all the kids know what that means. So just think about that. Use last initials if you're posting anything about students in announcements, especially if parents have the ability to see Canvas. Grade syncing, another thing to be thinking about is something that is a great fail-safe is having that grade sync button on. And I initially didn't turn on GradeSync because I thought that meant kids could see it, and they can't. So if you haven't turned on GradeSync, it's a great shortcut because it allows you to hit that remaster grade passback. You know, I know Bridget we had a issue with Canvas syncing to Skyward. Many of us have all had those issues. Hitting that remaster grade passback is a great way to like clear the cache basically, or clear the search history. It really does mitigate almost all problems with GradeSync. So just having access to that is great. But remember that if you want nightly sync on, you do have to manually turn that on. Nightly sync is great for people who may forget to sync, or I like to sync after I grade, but I just like having it on too, because it constantly updates that grade book. So remember that is something that you do have to turn on. I know math and science, sometimes you guys like leaving it off because you like going back and giving partial credit for grades or grading anything by hand. So it makes sense if you don't turn it on, but again, generally speaking, it's a nice fail safe to have on.
How would I get that on the side here? Oh, if it's not on.
So if it's not on, go to settings
Yeah.
and then navigation, and then you can just drag that up. Yeah. The other really great thing to have on is Grade Guardian. Grade Guardian won't appear until you have students in the course. So if you don't see Grade Guardian on the list, it's just because it's not synced to Skyward because this is a sandbox. But that's a great thing to have on because it just gives you an update of how your students are doing. So next year, this is what I'm gonna turn on. But everybody, you can turn on and customize the way that you like. Some people like having the syllabus on, which is really similar to assignments. It just lists everything by date. I know that's a really helpful thing to turn on. You might want to turn off assignments, or you might want to turn off modules, just depending on how you navigate with your students. The most important thing is that you have a clear and consistent navigation structure, and you have something that works for you. And remember, less is always more.
Hey, Steph,
Yeah.
when it comes to quizzes, in terms of your navigation option, is that gonna make it easier for them to find it, or are they better if they just do it through assignments? Is it redundant?
I find it to be a little
So you can
redundant.
do it through assignments?
Yeah.
so- Okay.
And I generally link it to the weekly homepage, so
Right.
then they
So
just
it's
go to the
redundant too. Okay.
one-stop shop. But lastly, enjoy your summer. Remember, we've done all the heavy lifting when it comes to Canvas. We've built our assignments. We've created so much content. Much of that content we might not even use because we might, go old school and have paper, or in PE, you're gonna have like,
Don't
Yeah.
tease us.
I'm hopeful. But you know what? You've done the hard stuff. So now play in your sandboxes, close that Chromebook on May 20th, and enjoy your summer. And I'll be having some drop-in hours during the summer. If you need something, don't hesitate to reach out, and we got this.
Thank you, Steph.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
I already booked you online.
Oh, beautiful. I love it.